Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And it's time to go into Inferno 1 of Beatdown Battle Catalyst. This is to get that bingo board mission so you can get the 5-star ticket and the dragon spheres for your union. But this stage versus, EX2, slight differences. Mainly, EX2 has 6.3 million HP, and and Inferno 1 has 52 million HP. So only a small jump. Nothing that you can't over... I'm kidding. It's stupid how high this is. And just so you know, in case you never get there, Inferno or Dire 2 has literally 100 million HP. So it could get a lot worse. But this stage, obviously, it's going to take a long time to kill, especially if you don't have the meta team. In fact, I only have really 2 teams for you today. One team that consists of meta units and not meta units, and then I have some stupid, very, very awkward stun team that requires you to have Overlord Rim Protector. And if you don't have him, I'm sorry. You're probably not going to beat this stage. So they're stacking their attacks. They Protector Seal you on turn 11 or something. Albus poisons you and stacks poison damage, so you can't do a traditional fight here. Also, that Protection Seal it pretty much screws over the Idolmaster team, because 2 turns without that, when you hit turn 11, means that they're just going to AoE you and you're all just going to die, because you cannot be invincible that turn, or 2 turns essentially. So Idolmasters can't use them. They're going to die to poison, they're going to die to the instant damage, they're going to die from them just attacking you. And then Gobta is the least of your concerns, because he just has the attack seal, and he doesn't hit that hard. Rimuru hits really hard. But we're going to go into this fight using this team. Why this team? Well, because it's the meta, but then it's a whole bunch of free characters, and then 4-star Chloe that you got from ticket summons and random summons here and there. She's useful for 2 different reasons. One, she is on Pretty Sparkle. They added all the kids to Pretty Sparkle, which means that she can get the regen field from Hinata. The second is that she actually is a healer. It's not a lot, but as long as you heal while Masayuki's skill is up, then you get those stacks. So you could pop her heal every turn and get 2, 4, 6 stacks for free. So she's doing double duty. And if you're not worried about trying to 3-star this stage and keep everyone alive, you could simply bring another blue or green orb changer. It doesn't matter. It could be Water Alice. It could be First Anniversary Dark Milim. It could be the free-to-play Space Sufia, or Wind Veldora, or Wind Lumia. Literally any green orb changer will work. That's why Aaron and Isis are here. That's what Shizu is doing, is converting to greens. So you could run any kind of different teams. As long as you really have Masayuki, Hinata, and Shizu, you're gonna be fine. I don't really care what these other 3 characters are, but if you want to beat it, then Hinata and Shizu will stay alive because of her skills. These 3 characters don't matter. So we're going to run this team. I've done the EX2 video with this team, and it obviously works very, very well. So if you can build some semblance of this team, then even better. It'll take you less turns. But we're going to go in with this team, and then we're going to go in with not that team. With a different team. Alright, so like I said, Masayuki, Chloe, Aaron, Isis, Hinata, Shizu. This takes a long time, so we're going to go at hyperspeed, and I'll just talk over it. But it's very simple. Once you get past, turn 3 or something, and you have a decent amount of skill points, then you can pretty much just run Hinata, Shizu, and Chloe up front for the rest of the fight, which is essentially what I do for most of it. But turn 1, we use the Isis Blue Orb change because we need it. You could also use Shizu if Hinata and Shizu are up there, but we bring Isis. So now, let's go ahead and use the green buff for her. And then we need to do a couple different orb changes here. So we'll do the Shizu ones first. It actually probably shouldn't have done that first. We should have just reset with Isis. That way we could do the Isis convert and then the Aaron convert, and it would have been fine. But hey, we have the points for it because Masayuki gives you 100 points every time you use him, so it really makes things easy. And now we can use the healing field, that, and then the blue orb change. And once we could have played that turn even better. But once you get past turn 3, you're pretty much locked in, because you're always going to be cycling because of Hinata's extra protection gauge on greens. So even though this turn doesn't look great, we can very easily get out of it. So we're up to 8 stacks on Chloe, 14 on Hinata, and now it's just wait for them to die, essentially. Like, for a lot of the fight, Isis and Aaron never see the front line ever again. Like, we need them for the orb change here, and then we'll swap her out, and then it's just Shizu, Chloe, and Hinata show. So again, the back 3 units don't really matter. It's just that you have Hinata and you have Masayuki. And that's the most important part, as long if you just want to beat the stage and you don't care about who lives and who dies. You can use Carrion in this fight. It'll take a lot longer probably because he's not active for 3 turns. It's only 1 turn. It could be a little bit harder because he doesn't full reset you as well. But it's certainly doable. I just didn't want to do it here. But now, like, okay, yeah, we got 5 orbs. We're going to use every skill on this front line. So we don't have to use the second skill for Chloe because it's a stun dodge, but whatever. It's just fun to press every single skill. And that's going to give us a whole bunch of stacks, the healing field on all 3 characters, and yeah, I don't need to use that. But then we'll get 5 green orbs, and it's fine. And now we're done, because we're going to sit here for another 5 turns and watch them kill themselves, essentially, as they hit me over and over and over and over again. So, green orb changers, Hinata to put the healing field on. Chloe works very well because she's easily obtainable because you probably have her at level 1 in your box. And she doesn't really have to be any higher than that. You don't have to use her healing skill. You can. It's going to cost a bit extra than mine, but you can. But she just needs to be able to get that healing field, and then she literally cannot die. So it really doesn't matter if she's level 1 or not, because she's going to live. So it doesn't really matter all that much. So now we're starting to do damage. Now we're going to do all 5 skills. And honestly, it doesn't even matter what kind of hand we get. And because we have 3 alts now, we're not quite guaranteed, but it's pretty safe to say that we're going to get a full hand of greens with the orb change from Shizu. It works out pretty well. And yeah, Chloe hasn't really done anything. She hasn't contributed any real damage to here. She just needs to exist. So it's very possible to do it. If you got lucky and you pulled Hinata and Masayuki, great. If you just pulled Hinata, well, you can still make it work with free-to-play Carrion and Shizu. If you don't have Hinata, but you pulled Masayuki, it becomes a bit more rough, unfortunately, because of the poison. You have no strong way to negate that. And you definitely will not stack Reckoning very quickly without Hinata. So I didn't try. If someone wants to try with a team without Hinata and just Masayuki, you could use the 4-star Gobta for the poison dodge, or there's units with poison cleanse, like you could do that. I'm sure you could find a way around it, but the amount of damage you take towards the end of the fight, like starting from turn 7, turn 8, they do a lot of damage to you. So I don't know if it's really possible without stun strats at that point. So this will be the last turn, turn 9, because they're going to die here. They have not a lot of HP left, and we're doing like 13 million a hit on the Reckoning stacks. So yeah, I mean, it's very simple, very brain dead. It gets the job done, and we'll see how much this does. Yeah, 13.6 million damage. 92, 99, and 94 stacks, and that required very little effort right there. Once we got going past turn 3, turn 4, your hand is pretty much set. You're good to go. So, as long as you have the 2 main characters, you're going to be okay. But what happens if you don't have those 2 characters, and you're stuck because you don't want to summon because you listen to me, and you're like, man, what do I do? It becomes a bit difficult for you there, unfortunately. Now, shout out to a JP player, AderMCZ1. He posted this on the 5th, and it's of him beating all the way up to actually in Dire 1 with this, and I'm pretty sure he cleared Dire 2. But he used a team, and he didn't actually show me the real formation and the strategy, so I asked him, what did you do? And thankfully he answered me back. Very kind of you. So thank you, shout out to AderMCZ. We're going to borrow his team. But it is Overlord Rim, which if you don't have him, like you can attempt to use Almizia, and like this bastardized team, I was not able to make it work, but I don't have a lot of patience for it. Like you're here to double stun essentially, so that's what he's doing. Guy is here to stun, Raphael is there to stun. And you stun Albus, so she can't poison you, and you stun Rimuru, so he can't keep stacking everyone's attack up and hit you really hard. So that just leaves Gopta, who by himself doesn't really do that much. But Shizu is going to stack the Reckoning effect. Windlumi is an orb changer. She's going to keep you healed, which you're not going to take a lot of damage now because 2 people are going to be stunned. And then free to play Isis again for her orb change and her green buff. And then Overlord Rimuru stacking, giving you extra points per green orb. Makes them really good. If you don't have Overlord Rimuru, sorry, you're probably SOL this month. But if you do, like, you can make it work. So here, we're jumping in. Isis will handle turn 1. We have 42 skill points to start out with because we have Wind Lumi and we have, I think, Water Soe under her. So we're starting with 42 skill points, which allows us to use the Isis buff and the orb change. And then we'll bring in the 3 characters. Boom. We're going to start hitting Gopta because he's the only one that's important. They have 54 million HP, so like our normal orbs aren't going to do anything here. We're just hitting him. This is a great turn too because we only need to use 1 orb change. There's the poison. It's going to do damage. I do have poison earrings, so Lumi did not get that. But we're going to stun Albus here just to start the process. We're going to let Rimuru hit us. That's the thing. So we're going to heal, we're going to orb change, and then we're going to use both skills for Shizu, and that will start putting stacks on. And it doesn't matter if you don't have any orbs to change or you don't have any alts to swap. You want to use Shizu's skills every single turn because you want more and more stacks of Reckoning. So turn 2, we're sending full 6. Rimuru hits us, alright. Gopta hits us, okay. And now, from turn 3 onwards, you are going to double stun. So 1 guy stun for either Albus or Rimuru, and then whoever you don't stun, you're going to bring in Raphael, and you're going to stun the other person. And the only person that's going to hit you from this point forward is going to be Gopta. So you can take his ult. You have a healer. You have Lumi. She can do a job for you. And Rimuru is going to make sure that, once you hit turn 6, turn 7, you're going to be real good on points. And the stuns are going to cost a lot of points towards the end. They're going to be 100 apiece. It doesn't really matter, because we're not in a deficit of points where, towards the end, where you are like using more skills than what you gain back off of 6 or 5 greens. So here, we're only going to take 1 ult here, and it's not going to do that much damage to you. Maybe if you have not great gear, not great dupes, it'll do damage. But yeah, okay, that's doable. We'll still take some poison damage, but since we're going to keep Albus stunned, we're never going to get poison again. She's never going to reapply it. So now, it's another orb change. We're going to stun with Raphael. It doesn't matter who, but let's heal. And then we got to stun Rimuru. Okay, cool. We'll bring in Guy. And we'll stun Albus now. I think we're just going to use it. No, okay, orb change, alt swap. One of the two, I don't know. Okay, Rimuru resets that. Okay, so we're going to use Guy at 25 points here. It's going to go up. Don't worry. It's going to cost a lot more moving forward. But now, let's go ahead and use Orb Change and Orb Change. Boom, boom. And now we'll send 6 greens. And we don't have the Isis green buff up anymore because it's turn 4. But we'll put it on next turn. So, both Rimuru and Albus are stunned, and we're going to hit Gopta. Maybe it's not a great idea to hit Gopta because he can hit you back. The stun characters can't, so maybe it's better you just hit Rimuru or something. But you can see we're not taking that much damage, and we can just heal. And at this point, it's just stun, use a bunch of skills to get 6 greens, and then stack and heal. That's the process, and you're going to do that for a very, very long time. First Anniversary of Eldora, probably not going to work because he doesn't give you extra skill points on greens, right? He raises your cap, sure, but he doesn't give you extra skill points on green orbs. The Divine General team that I showed earlier, like, you're really banking on Gazel to do that, but you only have 2 Divine General characters, so he can only change not a lot of orbs, and not every orb is going to get that skill point buff, which makes it quite difficult. Who else can you use? Masayuki, like, you can bring a Protector of Peace team, I guess, and you can try that. I didn't even try it because I hate that team, but it's certainly an option. We don't have that many green stacking protectors, and only Rimuru really gives you extra skill points when you use him. It caps out at 500, but 500% of green orbs is a lot. And so we're going to have way too many points that even 100-point stuns, so 200 points dedicated to stunning, doesn't make a difference when you're at 999 or 750 or whatever. So stun, and then we'll bring Raphael in again, and we'll stun Albus, and we're just going to wait. Because every single turn we're using Shizu's skills. Regardless of if we need to use them, we're going to use them. And you just do that. And eventually you'll stack up to a point where your Reckoning does start to do okay damage, and then it's just a game of attrition. So now that you understand the process, let's go and skip ahead a little bit to maybe turn 16. And we're doing the same shit still. We're almost to the cap. We're at 900 skill points. You can see that we have a lot. Guy's stun is up to 100 points. Rimru's already stunned, which means we probably already used a 100-point stun as well, but we're going to go back to 900. And it's not a big deal. And the Reckoning stacks are doing now, how much are they doing? 2.7 million, which, when they have 54, it's not that great, but we are still alive. And we're still pretty topped up on damage, because it's only Gobta hitting us. And Gobta, while he stacks some debuffs on you, he doesn't ult every turn. And so within those turns, you are able to heal back up. So it is just constantly using those skills, constantly getting an ult and 5 greens or 6 greens, and stunning both Rimuru and Albus over and over and over and over again. And eventually, they will die. So let's skip ahead to turn 22. And we've got 42 stacks, 14 stacks on Isis. Gobta's now in the red because we've been hitting him constantly the entire time. And we're going to get very close to killing them. I think it takes like 2 more turns after this to kill. And we're doing about 3 million a hit on the Reckoning. Yeah, 3.7 or something. Oh, they might actually die on this turn. Who knows? But orb change, green buff, boom, okay. Let's bring Raphael in. Let's stun Rimuru again. 100 points right there. Okay, let's bring Guy in. Stun Albus. 100 points right there. Boom. And then we can orb change. My Wind Lumi is skill fused for her, both her skills. So we are benefiting quite a bit from that. If your Lumi is not skill fused, it might be a bit more difficult for you. But you still have 3 orb changers on the team. Isis, Lumi, and Shizu. So you're probably still going to be kind of fine. There might be some turns where you can't send 6, but even 5 orbs is going to get you a lot. Yeah, so 2 more. We did like 4 million there. We need a bit more. So this is the final turn. So 24 turns for Inferno 1. But this does require you to have Overlord Rimuru. So if you started within the last year, you probably don't have him. And that's unfortunate, because he's still a fairly good protector for these cheesy strats right here. The stun strats that people swear by every single month. And you know what? Sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. This month, it certainly works, but it's not very fun. So let's watch this killing blow hit, and then, yeah. Okay, so hit, and 5 million damage, and they're dead. So, again, shout out to the JP Ader MCZ player for giving me this team. But, I mean, that's really all I got for you. Again, like, I tried to build this team. I tried to run this Divine General-ish team. Because you have the multi-use skill from Diablo, like, you could, in theory, use the double stun just from Guy himself. You have Gazel to orb change, you have Lumi to orb change, you have Shizu to orb change. Like, in theory, it could work. But I don't want to do it. So if someone wants to build this team and report back with success or failure, I would be greatly appreciative. And so would other people probably, because at least this isn't a collab team. Except for Megamine, but you can replace her with like Violet or something. But yeah, that's all I got. That's all that really can do 54 million damage and survive. None of the other green stacking protectors are going to work here. They have way too much health to traditionally nuke with like the Freerun team. Like she's going to do like 10 million max or something, and that's not going to get the job done. So these are your very, very limited options. But you can use almost a very yeah, ish team, even if you don't have, I think, Masayuki, you could use the free-to-play Protector Carrion. Probably still... Where is he? There he is. You could still use him, and if you just have Hinata and Shizu, it should still work. It'll be a little bit more difficult, but it should work. But, you know, if you found a different team, for the love of God, let me know. But that's it from me. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.